Okay, so this is going to be, so I'm gonna have a hot take video on about the endings here soon. But before that, I wanted to make a little video about Clea. And look, I'm on New Game Plus 2 and soon to be New Game Plus 3. But I'm in the Flying Manor, which is where Clea lived, and not Clea as in real Clea, but Clea as in painted Clea. So we know she lives here, and I'm going to talk to the boy, and then I'm going to pause while I go fight things, because there's no need to, like, I won't have much to say while I'm like going around the manor fighting all of these things. Plus it might be hard and I might be embarrassed by how much harder the game is on New Game Plus 2. So this is Baby Verso's soul. You're here. What is this place? It's her home, as in painted Clea. Here in this canvas. We used to play here a lot with the others. But now the one here, she is not her. She will never be. So because Clea painted over her, painted Clea cannot be herself. Like, painted Clea isn't even herself anymore. And she knows that. So painted Clea has as much of a soul as Verso in this canvas, if you could say painted Verso has a soul. And painted Clea, even in her current state, knows that she will never be herself again. Who are you talking about? We know he's talking about painted Clea. Everything is always about her painting, her sculpting. Everything has to be perfect, but perfect I have never been. And perfect she is not, the one who is here now. Maybe it's better to forget about all of this. But she is trapped here behind this door in her atelier, forever painting. How do we open the door behind you? The colors. Bring back the colors to her paintings. She mocked Aline's creation, trapped by her own paintings. Her Neverons stole her colors. If you could find them and unpaint them, then maybe she will be free. So we have to bring the color back to the paintings, and we do that by fighting these various creatures. So I'm going to pause while I go do that, because I don't know how to do time-lapsey things. Okay, so I've beaten all the enemies. I went from the hardest one, or the hardest to the do least and the lamp master, to the, well, I guess the Evacus are kind of hard because like they can be invulnerable and stuff like that. But the hardest ones, the easiest one would switch this go blue. And now we're headed back to the main plaza. There was also some Burgeons we had to fight as well. We didn't have to fight them, I guess, but there's like a merchant and everything. So as you can see, these are all lit up now. And we have the door left to open. I didn't fight the mime again because like it's just a cosmetic item. It's not that serious. So going into here, we're gonna go in. It says a threatening aura emanates from beyond the door. Now I'm unclear. How is Clea threatening? Painted Clea threatening? If she's just painting Neverons, is it just because of the way Neverons are perceived as threatening, or is she herself like a threatening aura? We're gonna open the door. You attempt to open the door. The sensation of danger is magnified. Beyond the door lies a threat unlike anything you've felt before. Do you wish to open the door? Yeah, open the door. One last time. Do you truly wish to open the door? Yes. Let's open the door. So be it. The door opens. Brace yourselves. I mean, this area is so beautiful. Like, I know that they've reused a lot of assets, and now that, like, I watched a video about that. I've seen it a lot more, but I love this area. I think it's really beautiful. It's a lot for the game to load too, but anyway. I might pause while I'm battling her and then unpause when the battle ends, or I might just let the battle go. Cutscene time. So Pansy Clea has just been here painting Nevrons. I want that white hair though. And the fact that like she doesn't really recognize him, or like, I don't know, he was surprised she was here. Oh man, it's so sad. This is so sad. The way she tries to wave. She can't even speak.
What happened to her?
I bet Clea hated Maman's portrait of her, so she painted over her.
And now she paints Nevrons.
How cruel of her. Of Clea, like real Clea. She really doesn't seem to think that the beings in here have a soul.
Can you change her back?
I can't repaint her. Claire's the only one skilled enough to paint over someone else's creation.
Alright, and now we're gonna have to battle. So I think this is cool, like how she summons the Nevrons. It's so cool, and the battle itself is so cool. But I might have already recorded it in my Let's Play of this, so I'm gonna skip over it. Or I might like, not skip over it, but like pause the recording and then resume when we've won the battle. I'm also embarrassed about how tough this is gonna be on New Game Plus 2. I'm embarrassed about my gamer skills. But let's go. Oh, and the music too. So good. Okay, that actually didn't take long unless she has a second phase that I'm not remembering. I might have just gotten lucky with that roulette there, but 28 million damage. Goddamn. Okay, so we continue. And now we see Clea.
So strong.
She's Claire's creation.
So it's like a part of her when her eye went from being black to being like a normal eye again. It's almost like she's coming back to awareness of what she is and what Clea painted over her to be. And what she can't be anymore. Yeah, that realization strikes her, and now she's like, this right here, this decision to not live anymore. This is amazing to me. She'd rather die than live as what Clea painted her. And this is something Clea doesn't see any. We don't know that Clea would feel remorse or guilt or regret. We don't know if this is reflecting some instinctual thing in Clea, like if she can't be perfect, then she might as well give up. We don't know if it has a deeper meaning like that. I like to think that it does. I mean, I think perfectionists that I know are the hardest on themselves. We've seen Clea be hard and cruel to others. But from what we know about perfectionists, we know a lot of perfectionists are hardest on themselves. The music here. It's so good. So now we go back and we talk to the boy again. So he asked us to help her. And I don't know, we don't know what he meant by that exactly. We don't know if this is what he meant, but based on what he says, it does seem that way. It does seem that he knew that this was going to be the outcome. Have you laid her to rest? She did that by herself. Thank you. That's what she wanted. I wish she would have listened to me. Then she wouldn't have to make this painting suffer. Painting or not, she had feelings and a soul. I'm taking a screenshot of that. That's what I think, at least, but I know she thinks differently. And I'm not sure if he means she is in real Clea or she is in painted Clea, but I think he means real Clea. For me, everything in this canvas is as alive as what's on the outside. I love this line because Verso is telling us that the canvas is real. The boy whose soul we find is telling us everything in the canvas is as alive as what's outside. Esquie, the Gestrels, the Grandis, even Aline's paintings. I welcome them all. Painting should be a celebration. Just like music. Thank you for taking care of her. It may not be much, but would you accept a gift from me? A garment we had designed together. I can only make one. Who should have it? I'm going to say Lune just because I think she's the only one that doesn't have it so far. Take care of yourself and of the paintings around you. So that was a little bit about Clea. And there's another area. There's a few areas where Clea is. I'm gonna pause the recording while I go find the next one. Okay, so the next one is Falling Leaves, and I can't remember if I did this quest on my playthrough already or not yet. But either way, we're gonna go through here. So this is interestingly not located far from the Flying Manor. It's also not located too far from the Floating Cemetery, where there's a character who decides to end his life, which he's one of Clea's imperfections, and I don't think that's a coincidence that we find that character there. Let me fight this guy real quick, just because he's in the way. But I don't think it's a coincidence. Like, we find one of Clea's imperfections. He decides it's better to die than to live as
Feel the embrace of fire.
an imperfect being. And it's interesting because it's not too far from the Flying Manor where Painted Clea made the same decision. Let's do lightning dance because I can't do too much else right now. This is like a lot for like one little glaze, but anyway, I don't think it's a coincidence. And the Cemetery of the Flying Manor and Falling Leaves are all located like kind of close together. or relatively close to each other. Okay, so I did already do this quest. The boy has gone silent. So he wanted us to put her to rest in this area too, and we did. And we found a version of her, a really weird version of her, that exists down here, Our Lady of Sap, that says that she's doing all of this for him because she wanted to respect what they created together. And I don't know if she's going to say it again, but we can see. Hopefully this creature doesn't chase us. It probably will. Is it chasing us? It's not talking. Okay, well that sucks. But basically, she said that she was trying to respect what she and him had created together. So what Clea and Lil Verso had created together. So that's why she was destroying Aline's paintings. And ultimately the scavenger, which is the big bad enemy of this area, we had to kill as well, and the boy like thanked us for that as well and stopped talking, and he said that that's what she would have wanted. Now there's one more area where we can find, there's a couple more areas we can find Clea actually. So one is in the Forgotten Battlefield. We're not going there because she's not going to talk to us anymore. But she would talk to Mael, and she asks if Mael is awake. And then she says, oh, go back playing with your friends. Like, I don't have time for this. And sends us away. Because at the time that you were supposed to talk to her, Mael wouldn't know that she's Alicia. Like, that she's the real Alicia. She would still think she's really Mael. She's not, like, quote-unquote awake yet. And then this is the next location where you can talk to her, the Endless Tower. So I actually tried to not talk to her in the Forgotten Battlefield to see if she would have different dialogue when you do wake Mael up, but she just doesn't talk to you, which is interesting. Okay, so I haven't done this yet.
A proper challenge.
So this is where real Clea used to paint and create. This is a shadow of real Clea. Let's talk to her. Alicia, I must say you've surprised me. I didn't expect you and your friends to succeed. And I certainly didn't expect the doppelganger to pull you into his schemes. He was supposed to keep an eye on you, not recruit you. Verso, the doppelganger. But you did well. All that's left is for Renoir to clean up the canvas. How can you let him erase Verso's canvas? Alicia, don't be emotional. You know this is necessary. And spare me that drivel of how much this canvas means to you. I've spent far more time here than you, which this is interesting to me to hear that Clea has actually spent more time here than Alicia. Like, Clea and Verso spent the most time here, which it actually does make sense because Mael, or Alicia, was the youngest. I painted half this world with Verso. We went on adventures here while you sat reading in your room. So it's interesting to me to hear that Clea went on adventures with Esquier and the Grandis, and I'm wondering if part of the reason she wants to destroy the canvas is because the world that she celebrated with her brother is no longer there, or it's being destroyed. And I wonder, I don't know, I could be wrong. I could be seeing her in too sympathetic a light. I was perfectly fine leaving Maman here to work out her sorrows. So she was fine with letting her mother grieve here. And I think that's one of the rare times she calls her Maman and not Aline. Clea normally calls her by her first name. And if you insist on staying too, well, that's your choice. I think that's such a pivotal line for me in my take on the ending. If you insist on staying too, that's your choice. But Renoir will not stand for it, and I need him to help me with the real conflict outside, not waste more of his time in here. Enough. I grow tired of repeating myself. Renoir will do what needs to be done. Why don't we have some fun instead? Good. I'll show you what you missed out on all those years hiding in your room. I think that's cute interaction between sisters. It's a game Verso and I used to play. I've sketched some figures, doodles really. It's a challenge that gets harder and harder, and it's like bosses and then more bosses. Eventually it's basically a gauntlet. I believe your friends call them Nevrons. It's a creative name, I like it. Verso and I named this challenge the Gauntlet. Survive them all and I'll show you a true drawing. Come on, Alicia, have some fun. The gauntlet lies within this canvas. Don't worry, death in there isn't final. Every canvas has its own rules, and I find death a boring outcome. Don't you, Alicia? Stop waiting for someone to hold your hand. Play, don't play. I really don't care. So, I'm gonna play. It's 33 of them, so it's a lot. So I'm gonna pause while I do that, so I can get back to another line that she says to you at the end. Okay, so I ended up getting a little tired of playing, and Clea gives you some really great advice here. So, at the end of the last fight is basically a painted version of Renoir and Aline, their parents, Alicia, Clea's and Verso's parents. And Clea says, some advice, don't let yourself get caught up in other people's drama. Neither of them are adult enough for the conversation they need to have. Until they face their grief, they're better apart than they are together. But instead, they do this and pull others into their mess. Like you, trapped in Aline's delusion. I don't think that Maëlle is trapped in Aline's delusion. I think she has her own reasons for being in the canvas, which I'll get to in a different video. And before you call me a hypocrite, yes, I did get involved. She did. She got involved. I gave Renoir the edge he needed. Otherwise, she would have overpowered him long ago. She is, after all, the stronger paintress. But there's a difference between helping and getting sucked in. Whereas, so she's viewing Maëlle as getting sucked in to the painting and to the delusions of, like, similar to Aline. This is not your battle. Don't let their mess become yours. Aline would rather lose herself in make-believe than face reality. It's a drug she's unwilling to resist. Don't make the same mistake. So it's similar to how video games draw us in, right? It's similar. The canvas draws us in. And it could be art, it could be music, it could be a video game, it could be books, it could be whatever the distraction is from whatever it is we're trying to avoid, whether it's grief or other types of pain that we're trying to avoid. And so Clea is giving Maëlle advice here for resisting it. Don't let it suck you in. Don't let it become a drug you're unwilling to resist. Renoir, he's terrified of losing more family. And his response is to try to bend everyone to his will. Don't let his fear end up controlling you. She's giving good advice here. It's not selfish to make your own choices, sister. You've made great strides since I saw you last. Don't go backwards. So I think here is actually kind of a tender moment between Clea and Alicia or Maëlle. Take this. A reminder that you control your life. And if you're not having fun, do something else. And she gives her the hairstyle of Maëlle in the white coloring. So she's basically saying, like, if you want to be Maëlle, be Maëlle. Like, and if you're not having fun, do something else. Which I wasn't having fun playing through 33 trials again of the endless tower, and so I paused as I'm on like level 7 or 8 now, but I didn't feel like going through the last few for the sake of this video, so I found this on YouTube. Now I'm curious if they talk to her again. I hope you had fun. Just remember, the only thing you owe them is to live a life you enjoy. And I think that part is really important because we're talking about what are we doing here if it's not to, like, what are you doing for your children? You're battling over this canvas, and what is it that children owe their parents? And I love that Clea's philosophy on this is the only thing you owe them is a life you enjoy. I also think it's really significant that Clea is the one to say, if you're not having fun, go do something else. And she's also the one to say, to compare avoidance using the canvas as, or, you know, in some cases, some of us, a video game as a method of avoiding grief or pain or something else. Like, don't let it become a drug that pulls you in. Like, resist that. Don't become like a lean. So I think it's really significant that Clea here is giving some sound advice. And I think her presence is just, it's so interesting every time that we see her. Throughout the various points we do see her in the game, it's very interesting. And I'm also like curious about this part of the world because it seems like it was supposed to be like bigger or something, but you can't ever open this. You can't get in here no matter how many levels you beat. And even though we do actually go through the tower, each level is each arena is actually really built in the endless tower. You can actually see them. The assets are all there, but it's so interesting to me. Like, her painting room is here, but I think Clea is more interesting of a character than she is. She's more complex than a simple like black and white Disney villain. So I just wanted to make this video to talk about like my take on Clea and how I view her as, you know, a little bit more complicated than some people do. And, you know, she's the one who said, if you're not having fun, go do something else.